It doesn't matter what the circumstances were that you were born in, as long as you have a normal brain.
That's Ben Carson, former neurosurgeon turned Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.
Right now, our country is the patient.
The soft-spoken Carson had quite the temper growing up, and he detailed all of it in his 1990 book, Gifted Hands. His book stated that he once tried to hit his mother with a hammer over a clothing dispute. He punched a classmate in the face with a combination lock. He also tried stabbing a friend in the abdomen for changing the radio station.
And a knife blade struck with such force that it broke, and he fled in terror.
Carson had a lot of violent baggage.
My luggage. Hold on.
Okay.
After these violent outbreaks, Carson started reading the Book of Proverbs, or Proverbs if you're going off of this mantle in his home.
Locked myself up in the bathroom and I started praying. I've never had another problem with temper since that day.
After leaving the bathroom, Carson graduated from Yale in 1973. In his book, Carson recounted a pivotal anecdote when he was deemed the most honest person in the class. The professor came toward me. With her was a photographer for the Yale Daily News who paused and snapped my picture, he said. That photo cannot be found. He also stated that he was offered a scholarship to West Point, although no record of this exists and the school doesn't offer scholarships. Carson did, however, get accepted into University of Michigan's medical school, where he struggled so much that a professor recommended that he drop out of medical school. He started studying for hours on end, and his grades drastically improved. He was accepted into Johns Hopkins' neurosurgery program. While at Johns Hopkins, he was appointed the lead neurosurgeon on a team of 70 that successfully separated conjoined twins. It was the first surgery of its kind, and the surgery brought Carson into the limelight. It led to publishing deals, a public speaking career, and even a cameo in the Farrelly Brothers comedy, Stuck on You.
We lost them.
Dr. Carson, good news. We found Bob and Walt. Someone took them upstairs.
Oh, fantastic.
Carson, as played by Cuba Gooding Jr. in the made-for-television movie Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story, was on the rise.
I always said you can do anything anyone else can do.
Only you can do it better.
In 2013, Carson hung up the stethoscope and became a contributor for Fox News. Naturally. Then, without any prior governmental experience, Carson decided to throw his hat in the ring for the 2016 presidential race.
I'm the only one to separate Siamese twins, the only one to take out half of a brain, although you would think if you go to Washington that someone had beat me to it.
And he was doing well, at first.
It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Polls will go up and down over the next year.
But as he grew in popularity, his violent past came up, and his poll numbers came down.
They say some of these stories would have been known to everybody in high school if they had happened the way that Carson says they did.
Do you think I'm a pathological liar like CNN does?
This $150,000 radio ad paid for by Carson and his campaign probably didn't help either.
If we want to get America back on track, we gotta vote Ben Carson. A matter of fact, go out and vote.
I'm Ben Carson, and I approve this message.
By March 2016, Carson dropped out of the race. Shortly thereafter, he endorsed Trump, the same man who had confused Carson with President Obama.
What Ted Cruz did to Obama. Carson. I'm Carson.
After Trump's election win, Carson was immediately offered a role in the administration as Secretary of Health and Human Services, which he declined due to his admitted lack of experience. But just a short time later, Carson overcame his self-doubt and accepted the position of Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. As Secretary, Carson will oversee federal public housing programs and come up with solutions to homelessness, which should be simple. According to Carson,
Poverty, to a large extent, is also a state of mind.